Guys, I want to react to this video. I kind of just found this randomly. Neuro-Sama makes XQC crash out over a crazy clip. What is this about? And, we've seen a few videos from Kazahana revolving around people just straight up hating, it seems like. So let's see what happens here, and if there's any credence to what XQC is saying here. I have a feeling the answer is probably no. Also, let me move my camera so you guys could see Kazahana in his glory, I guess. I don't know what else to say it. I've been really, you know what? It's crazy. Like the last few weeks or so, I've really been following his channel a lot more. Or like, I've been getting his suggested videos more. So, where's my camera? Why can't I move my camera? Why can't I find it, bro? I have like 8,000 layers in my video. Hold on a sec. In my file here. All right, there we go. All right, you know what? Screw it, we're leaving that in. Anyways, all right. Why did XQC crash out?
Okay, so it seems like Neuro-Sama has kind of caught out a big streamer and made him crush out again. Now, if you don't know, we're talking about XQC today
said?
because we covered a couple of previous situations where, the likes of Dokibird and other VTubers as well were kind of, I guess, annoying XQC, where he would just kind of lash out and take it out on the VTubing community itself, or even on, some of the anime kind of industry too, obviously due to the fact of, VTubers are anime kind of characters, anime style characters, so he decides to take it out on that. Now,
so what did he specifically say?
Just finished their subathon over on Vito's channel, and yeah, it was completely successful. There was tons of records broken, as well as the subathon itself got up to what, third most subscribed of all time, which I think is absolutely insane. And it seems like over that period of time, SQC has kind of switched up on Neuro-Sama and his thoughts on that, being very, very positive about it in the beginning whenever we're talking about people like...
Let's see this. XQC calls out Lacey for being a purist in regards to Neuro-Sama, also ponders how VTubers who were mad at him are feeling about... Wait, also ponders how VTubers who were mad at him are feeling about AI VTubing. I think being a purist of streaming is bad. Streaming should never be something or not be something. Streaming just is. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, I agree with that. Streaming is just streaming. It can be about whatever you want. What's the problem?
Lacey, so again, obviously, if you guys don't remember from my previous videos, Lacey kind of crashed out about it, saying, it's not human. How could there be a human?
Yeah, we've seen that.
Yeah, we've seen humans on the screen, which I thought was quite funny. But yeah, obviously, SQC reacted to this whenever this all went down, saying, SQC calls out Lacey for being a purist in regards to Neuro-Sama. Also,
no. Okay, no. I already have a problem with this. Lacey wasn't being a purist. Let's just be clear here. It's just for that specific moment. Lacey wasn't being a purist. All right. The problem is you think he was saying all those comments because he was as if he was trying to protect the sanctity of something. No. All right. That's an ego thing. Whether he thought his bag was on the line or he was worried about people, Vito or Neuro-Sama taking his spot, like on the rankings, because I said this before, but when you get a certain level in anything, ego is an important part of you maintaining that, right? Like, I mean? Like the best players in the world, they have an ego about themselves, the confidence about themselves that keeps them being better and keeps them at the top for as long as possible. But there is a negative side to it where you can get caught in your feelings and act stupid. And what Lacey was doing was not him being a purist, it was him being stupid in that one moment, okay? Anyways, that's my opinion.
Ponders how VTubers who were mad at him are feeling about AI VTubing. Said, I think being a purist of streaming is bad. Streaming should never be something or not be something. Streaming just is. Which obviously, I think he's completely right there. And saying,
we all agree on that.
Because Lacey's point was, is this even streaming anymore? And stuff like that. And again, as SQC points out, it doesn't really have to be something or not be something. It can just be.
Now watch someone come to this video and be like, "Hey, you're a voice actor. Would you say the same thing about AI art?" Man, get the hell out of here, bro.
It doesn't really matter, right? And I think the XQC has obviously seen the massive growth of Neuro-Sama over the past couple of days, and started making comments like this whenever watching clips on LSF of Neuro, or Evil Neuro in this case, surpassing Iron Mouse and Jason the Ween to become the third most sub channel of all time. This is what he had to say.
Please to his chat to stop wasting money.
Yeah, I actually do know. We just broke the top 3 record for the most subs of all time.
Nice.
Chat.
Is there any
I have that recording, chat. Guys, this has nothing to do with this. It has nothing to do with this, but overall, how come a lot of the anime, right, have a lot of voices and shit like that, and songs that sounds like children are talking? Like, it's like children looking stuff, children looking songs, children looking whatever. Lullabies that for children is all like
lullabies. Who the fuck? What the fuck is he talking about? Lullabies? Where are you watching your cartoons on? PBS?
People love that, like to the point where like actually, I feel like it's.
Oh, I see what he's doing.
It might be fueling a part of them that's genuinely a threat to society, and I think it validates them. And
oh my god, here we go again. I guess that's never. I guess the topic or the discussion is never gonna end, right? Right. Anytime you do anything anime related, it must be related. It must be pandering towards people who like kids. Every single time, guys, every time. Man just immediately said the wrong thing immediately. Like he just implied that anime. Well, he didn't even imply. He just directly said that anime is like heavily is mostly about that. You know what's really weird? I've watched a lot of anime back when I was a kid, and even until now. And for some reason, when I watch anime, I don't get a lot of that stuff. Maybe it's because I'm not looking for it. Maybe that's what it is. Am I aware that it exists? Yep. Do I just not watch it? Yeah, pretty much. You know what I mean? Also, for me in particular, like even when I'm watching shows and they have some of that stuff in there, like or if I watch some show about one thing and then there's a random character who's like, that generic 500-year-old dragon that looks like a kid thing. I'm like, okay, whatever. But I still keep it moving. You know what I mean? I don't like OD about it and like write a twit longer. You know what I'm saying? Why do people always do that? You know what I mean? There's always this like movement to like try to take the whole group of anime fans and say they are strictly about this. They always do that. And the only reason they do that is so they can justify some type of restriction on media, or just to make someone look, or to make themselves feel better morally than somebody because they don't do this specific thing, right? Or because not even people who do that specific thing. Because like a lot of people don't think of anime like that, or don't look at anime specifically for that reason. But when you group them all together, it just makes it easier to say, I'm better than those guys morally, or for whatever reason. I'm better than them for whatever reason because they all do this when they don't. You know what I mean? Isn't that what he said? Let me just go back here. Listen to the beginning of that again.
Third most sub channel of all time. This is.
I actually do know. We just broke the top 3 record.
It's really weird because like I've been watching clips with you guys of Neuro-Sama for a minute, like for quite a bit. And I genuinely mean this. I never even thought about thinking in that way with Neuro-Sama at all. Now, to be fair, he does say in the beginning, I'm not talking about Neuro-Sama specifically, but let's be real here. There are a lot of VTubers who have a very similar body type when they for the character design, right? So even though he says, I'm not specifically talking about Neuro-Sama, but what he is talking about specifically are other characters who are similar in design on the body type. He thinks it's not that clever.
For the most subs of all time.
Chat.
Is there any
I have that recording, chat. Guys, this has nothing to do with this. It has nothing to do with this, but overall, how come a lot of the anime, right, have a lot of voices and shit like that, and songs that sounds like children are talking? Like it's like children looking.
Just look up, just do some research on Japanese culture if you really want to know. Otherwise, you're just, which he's not gonna do, by the way.
Children looking songs, children looking whatever. Lullabies that for children is all like a lot of it's children, and people love that, like to the point where like actually, I feel like it might be fueling a part of them that's genuinely a threat to society, and I think it validates
A threat to society. Okay.
them in a way, and I think it's kind of odd to overpopulate that type of endeavor.
Overpopulate in that type of endeavor? What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Can you just say it with normal words? Because the way you use those words don't make sense.
But what do I know? I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah, you are spitballing. It does sound like it. Wait, like he just to be listening to that now just sounds like he just threw that out. You know what I mean? You know, like I'm not gonna say or not like I like that kind of stuff either, but the last thing I want to do, and a great way to alienate yourself from a lot of anime fans, is to say they're all part of this group of people who like kids, and I'm just not about it. You know what I mean? That's not fair. You know what I mean? But it's not about being fair. You know what I mean? A lot of I'm not saying he's doing this, but a lot of XQC is doing this. But a lot of people do that to create some type of like social moral high ground when it comes to content like this, right? It's weird. You can't just. I think a lot of people who do go this route of just talking about anime fans like this, they don't do the right thing and just like choose their words carefully, right? And consider what they're saying. They just, you know what I mean? Just that's not like a thing that they want to do. Someone in the chat said, "Good take." You don't even know what he's talking about.
Was that wrong?
A little. It's quite. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Hi, Mr. Juice.
Guys,
I recently watched her birthday wish vid on YouTube
when
and
I
had the
hear
displeasure to witness
adorable,
MD Pong's ugly ass. Holy shit!
Cute voice, and
Yeah.
oh, this is a child. Cool. Moving on. Right?
Oh yeah, that's right. You know, because only 5-year-olds have cute voices, right? Right? That's exactly right. You know what I mean? It's just conflating one thing with the other and just like trying to blur the line between what one thing is and another thing is. Also, one thing doesn't freaking exist. It's not real. If I turn off my TV, it doesn't exist anymore. I don't know. I just feel like maybe some people have issues with separating fiction and reality. I personally don't. Like once I'm done watching a show, that's it. I enjoy it for what it is. Maybe I have a discussion what's going on, but then I leave it where it is. I don't try to pretend I can like use their powers or something. You know what I mean? Or or think I can date them. Yeah, that's my opinion on it. You're playing with fire. These weirdos hate when you point that out. Oh, brother. Okay. Yep. Also, by the way, it's like I understand that these kind of conversations, these kind of talking points are never going to go away. Never. And my main defense against it is not even to really talk about it or engage in it overall on social media. Like, I don't even talk about it. It's like, whatever, dude. Sure. All right. Watch them find out that this guy did some played some sus anime shit, or watched some sus anime like a year or two ago. You know what I mean? But then I'm supposed to be like, well, that doesn't matter. It's only 1 to 2 years ago. That doesn't define who he is, right? I'm supposed to say that, but he can't say just because some people in anime are weird like that doesn't mean that everybody in that. He didn't say that at one time. And I think that's the main issue that people have when everyone brings this kind of subject up. Is that, can you like not group us all in with with certain people? Like, could you just cut that out? But they don't care.
I don't think. But if I just consumed exclusively that type of sound and
you think that's what they do?
I think it's not even about culture. I don't think it's about whatever. I think it's just about like.
Well, whether it's culture or not, I will say this though. Whether it's culture or not, if you don't think it's right or wrong, like there are like, you can't use differences in culture to shield yourself from something you believe is objectively right or wrong, right? You know what I mean? There's some cultures who like doing certain things that I will 100% never agree with because like that's just no. You know what I mean? I really don't care at that point. That's you know what I mean. So I'm not gonna like you'll never see me use that excuse. What I am saying is do research on if you really want to know where it's coming from. Like do research on it.
I think it's weird.
It's only weird if you
Not
make
not
it
not not to like make him like it again or like it more, but just like so he has an idea what the hell he's talking about.
Weird.
It's only weird if you make it weird.
It's only weird if you make it weird. Depends on what you're talking
Well,
about.
no, because if you
Reply the Destiny
coincidentally just watch some stuff and a lot of it has it's gonna be whatever. When you do make deliberate efforts to consume only or mostly that, I mean.
So yeah, obviously a lot of those points were mumbling. So I hope you guys.
Yeah, he didn't like. Obviously, it's a spur of the moment reaction of you know, and his thoughts. It's a little annoying that watching Neuro-Sama just happened to like become the third most subbed VTuber or a person, you know, on or you know Neuro or Vettel becoming the third most subbed person on Twitch. It's a little weird that that's the trigger for him to have this conversation. You know, it's like a little sly dig. To be honest with you guys, that's what it feels like to me. You know what I mean? It's like when people they don't attack Beetle the person, they attack Neuro because Neuro is in the person and in the real sense, and that's supposed to be like the loophole. Like, oh, what Vito does is great, but man, these anime fans who just love just giving money to Neuro-Sama, they're weird, bro. Like they do that shit, and it's like really, it's that kind of slick language that really annoys me. You know what I mean?
Have actually kind of taken into account what he said there, and I'm sorry if you didn't. But essentially, yeah, he was saying like he doesn't understand why there's so many kind of like childlike features about some well, he says anime, but obviously he says this in response to a Neuro-Sama clip, which obviously I feel like he's also talking about VTubers too.
Yes.
And yeah, he talks about like the childlike nature, and then starts to suggest some pretty horrible stuff, suggesting that they might be a threat to society if they enjoy this kind of behavior. Which
I just don't. Maybe I'm new to this. I just don't understand why people don't realize when they have a platform and they say stupid shit like this without even like doing a modicum of like pausing and just thinking about what they're saying. They just spit it out. Like, I wonder if it's because maybe the way streaming is for a lot of people, it's just difficult when you're in the spur of the moment and you're just reacting to stuff to really filter that out and maybe consider, hey, maybe I should like pause about that particular comment and like do a little bit of research. If I still feel that way, at least I'll have like some thoughts behind it that will allow people to say, okay, I get what you're saying. Like, you know what I mean? There's got to be something about it where it's like I can't just open up Twitter, like Google for 15, 20 minutes and like have a conversation about it after doing some research, even just like some minor research. Like, you know what I mean? Because it just feels like a conversation people have because they heard other people had that conversation. You know what I mean? Like you're piggybacking on other conversations just because it's the thing to do. You know, I don't know this guy too. I know he's really popular. I don't know him personally or anything like that, but like it doesn't make sense for him to like randomly say that and then say, oh, this isn't about Neuro-Sama, when clearly the trigger was you watching Neuro-Sama right when, they get, have a very successful subathon. I'm supposed to like believe that has nothing to do with it. Okay.
I think obviously is pretty ridiculous because again, that is not what it's about, and I think he's mistaken about what he thinks about VTubers and anime in general and the more childlike nature of some of the things that some of these VTubers.
Is it true that Jesus Christ? Is it true? Wait a minute. What the hell is this? Is he playing a game? What do you know? To the shock of no one. When was this? When was this? What's this game called? What is it called? I don't see anything. I don't see the name of the game anywhere.
And anime characters do, right? Obviously, yeah, this dude played some lolly game, which obviously is quite funny.
Is it really what it is?
The face XQC season is not.
That face is hilarious. What's the name of that game, guys? Because I'll probably look it up later to see exactly what he was doing, but I've seen a lot of people. They would they're like very mean and disrespectful to the anime community about certain things, and then you go on their profile and you immediately find out that the thing that they're talking shit about is the thing they've been doing. Isn't that weird? How that happens all the time. That's really crazy.
And this is the main point that people have been bringing up. It's the fact of the Doki Bird
Victory.
Twitch rivals PTSD, right? Because obviously,
Wait, you mean this is based off of something else? Okay, so so there's additional context now. Okay, I did vaguely hear about Doki Bird winning some type of tournament.
he has a little bit of PTSD from the Twitch rivals.
He can't beat anime girls in Marvel Rivals tournament, so he finds any way he can't. Is that what he's doing? All right, so I'm just gonna ignore all that stuff he said. It's quite possible that his ego got hurt a little bit, so now he's in the back of his head. He doesn't, he's got issues with that, with VTubers and anime in general. That totally might be what it is. Like I said, it's the ego thing for a lot of these streamers, right? They're the big bad streamer. They have a lot of views. They have a lot of push. They've worked hard, whatever you want to call it. And they did their thing, and they don't like being messed with. They don't like being threatened. They don't like losing, right? Which is in many ways a good thing, right? Because that's how you stay at the top. You push yourself to stay up there. But and every once in a while, something like this will happen.
Whatever, they tried to purposely kind of sabotage Doki Bird's team in Twitch Rivals, and she ended up taking herself out of the team, and the team ended up beating, I think, both of them.
Without her,
the
they still won?
Rivals tournament, which I thought was absolutely hilarious.
I kind of want to watch this Marvel Rivals tournament, just like not on stream. Actually, I might look at some clips or something.
And I think even to this day, he holds a grudge against VTubers over
Obviously.
this.
It's pretty obvious he
Doki
does.
Bird, which I think is quite funny. And
Most
you can see it
competitive
popping
people
up every
will,
now and
though,
again. But
in my personal
you can
opinion.
see the exact, I guess,
I would think so.
between opinions that he has here. Obviously, he's very supportive of Neuro-Sama in this one, and they're very unsupportive of Neuro-Sama in this one. It feels like, at least. But again, people have just been clowning on it, essentially.
Now, here's the thing. Are people hypocritical by nature? They flip-flop constantly? Yes. Right? That's just normal human nature, right? When you're on social media all the time and you're streaming all the time, it's just that those inconsistencies get highlighted more significantly. So, in my opinion, his in a specific example, him flip-flopping or whatever you want to call it, or being hypocritical, whatever you want to call it, ain't that much more than the average person, in my personal opinion. It's just that he's a big streamer and people are watching him all the time. You get on people's nerves when you say one thing, so now they're waiting for you to screw up so they can make fun of you or point it out even more. For me, I'm like, whatever, you're wrong, whatever, dude. I'm just moving on. That was silly, but I'm not gonna, chase you for it. Oh, okay, this comment is unnecessary. Takes more L's than he can stutter in a paragraph. Wow. Okay, so he's making fun of the way he talks now. See, this is the kind of comment that's mad unnecessary, right? Because all this will do, if you really think about it, all this does is antagonize him more against the anime community, right? Now, does that mean people like this will stop? No. Does that mean, maybe it's upon him to just ignore them and just let it go? Yeah, it does. But if he does, he probably won't all the way, right? Honestly, I don't know when this happened, but I don't really think it's a big deal, to be honest.
The SQC is a stuttering retard that gets his ass kicked by anime girls in tournaments. Dude takes more L's than he can stutter in a paragraph.
Anime's a whole culture.
Yeah, it's quite funny. People saying, it's a PDF invested environment.
The hell does that mean, dude? What the hell? Validating a threat to society. The guy who took $100 million e-casino deal? I don't know how a multi-millionaire can be a shill and also get clonked by women in video games. It's like Elon Musk but poor. Oh my god, that's what he said. Jesus Christ. Maybe people should just not post. You know what? For me, this is good for me. I will say that, because when I see this garbage, when I see this ish, I say, oh, okay, well, that was dumb. That didn't turn out well. I guess I won't be doing that. You know what I mean? great lessons to be learned for the rest of us, I suppose.
So yeah, a lot of people, especially in this chat as well, were spamming stuff like PDF, which obviously is not the case, especially with things like Neuro-Sama,
seriously.
because Neuro-Sama is literally an AI. It's not a child. Many people obviously will.
Yes,
point
AI
out
is
the
not
fact
even
that,
real.
Hey, this person isn't real. You guys aren't watching a real streamer. And then all of a sudden they'll make the same point of, oh, why are you guys watching a child? And obviously then it doesn't start to make sense because you're saying it's not real, but then also you're saying it's a child. You know,
I mean, social media is rife with hypocrisy. Like it's rife with hypocrisy and very lacking in accountability. Just expect that to happen. Don't expect to like come out of a conversation or a debate winning anything. Like you could be right 100% and still be made fun of for having your opinion. So I personally wouldn't even engage on social media when it comes to stuff like this or anything else, to be honest.
I feel like you got to kind of add that one up a little bit in your head, but again, I
Yup.
think it's quite funny. You got Straw here saying it's simple. Most VTubers most VTuber enjoyers like cute stuff.
Most people
Cute girls doing
like
cute
cute
things.
stuff.
It's just a part of the culture to prioritize cute over sexy. They say it's not and should never be about actual children.
It isn't. It isn't. Like, even the character designs of anime characters, you guys, without going too deep or anything like that, a lot of the way anime designs was basically, inspired by Disney. The way Disney designed their characters. If you want to be real for real. And a lot of it obviously there's a lot of anime and stuff like that does prioritize sexy, but most of the mainstream stuff, especially ones like the stuff that gets over here in the US, prioritizes cute, right? And most people stay in this category. You know what I mean? But let's understand here that none of this stuff is real, bro. Like, just relax.
It's the same people
Keep
who
it there,
accuse me
please.
of eBay for collecting plushies. They see something they don't understand and immediately label it as evil. Maybe it's weird to
that's a
you,
generic
but there's
thing.
nothing inherently wrong with me wanting to collect plushies and like cute things.
Who is Straub? Who is this? Who's Straub?
With my own L2D model, just because I wanted a cute design and don't have my chest falling out of my model clothing, it doesn't mean that I'm a child, which obviously, yeah, I think that does make sense, right? A lot of people like the more cuter aesthetic whenever it comes to...
I just wonder why people go out of their way to attack the VTubing community. Like, all this is going to do is just get this kind of, like, response in your direction every time. Like, why even bother? If you don't like it, just don't even engage in it.
VTubing or
Why is that so
even
hard?
characters in anime, right? Obviously, you got Rima here saying, we're going back to the violent video games, make people violent argument, saying, not gonna...
The reason why I don't like this kind of argument is because it takes the accountability away from the person's individual free choice decision making. I can watch all the violent video games I want to and still not harm a single person in my entire life. It's my decision, my choice. Even if I went through things in my life, at the very end of all of that, it's still whether I say yes or no to doing something. You know what I mean? Like, this lack of accountability is the reason why people make comments like this and think that they're somehow, like, correct or something. You know what I mean? This only works when you take the human element out of it, of accountability.
Go too hard on XQC here, since he did say he is just spitballing / thinking out loud. But let's be real, media doesn't create deviant behavior. It can reflect or reinforce pre-existing tendencies.
I like that. I kind of like that point. I kind of like that, right? This statement puts the onus on the person, right? If this is how you feel about certain things, then maybe you should look into yourself, right, and see what's going on in there, right? Like, for example, like I told you guys already before, I've been watching Neuro-Sama of you guys for a while. Not once have I ever thought that. Not even once. I promise you. Not even one time. It's not that hard.
Someone already inclined towards harmful behavior may seek out media that aligns with their views, but the relationship with it isn't the same as most typical anime fans. Most people are capable of separating fiction from reality. Regulated minds don't blur those lines. Also, when people bring up anime and so-called childlike characters or voices, they also miss the cultural context.
Now this is cool because this Rima person is going out of their way to, like, in a good faith way, explain in a very short period of time certain things about culture that does play a factor into why you feel like that way. There's a disconnect between what your culture is and what you've grown up into, and what Japanese culture is and what elements of that are influencing the way anime is today. It's totally it's very nice of Rima to do that. This is Twitter. People don't care about that ish. This isn't going to change anybody. That's the sad part about it, right? Anyways, I mentioned that I mentioned an influence from Disney that made anime the way it is, right, with the big eyes and everything. But looks like she's gonna go a little bit further than that.
Japan, Buriko is a style of acting cute that comes from the kawaii culture. Cuteness there isn't about sex appeal; it's about soft, innocent, and approachable. You see it everywhere, from idols to VTubers to morning news hosts, and yes, adults. They say even professionals often use higher pitched tones, cute expressions, overly cheerful delivery. Japan literally has mascots / anime groups for districts and governments to appear more friendly. They
do. That's a great point. I didn't even think of that. I've seen I was on YouTube, not YouTube, but I've seen on Twitter a few times like these guys in anime outfits or these cartoon animal suits representing these districts or government agencies or companies. And I even saw one of a guy you guys will probably know exactly what I'm talking about. It's this guy in a suit, a weird anime suit, it was like a big, a huge animal or something like that. And he's just banging the drums like a crazy person. And he's killing it. I was like, what is this about? And that didn't seem common to me. That felt weird to me. But then I found out that this is kind of common. You know what I mean? So, you just gotta it just takes a modicum of research and the desire to at least be good faith about it to even get the answer you're looking for.
In Japan is a social language, not a sign of infantilization. In the West, cuteness is often linked to childlikeness, which then gets associated with PDF. But in Japan, it's just an aesthetic, and anyone else of age can express it. So again, obviously, 100% true there. Rima kind of hit the nail on the head. It
that was a pretty good explanation. Who is Rima? Who is? I want to see who this. I'm gonna find this person. Rima Evenstar, right? I don't know who this person is. I'm gonna look him. I'm gonna follow them. Or at least I would like to. Let's see. Rima Evenstar. Who is you? I'll just hit the follow. I'll hit the follow on them. All right, cool. All right, cool. I'll just follow them.
Directly related to children or anything like that. It is just the kind of, I guess, the mindset of, things that are cute obviously become more appealing to people, and obviously that works, right? Obviously she's talking there about the culture in Japan and the whole stuff
that works in the US as well, by the way. A huge part of character design is appeal, making it appeal to a wide audience, especially when you're trying to get young adults, kids, and adults to watch something, right? Let's just be real here. So I don't even understand. We act like this doesn't happen over here in the U.S., but it clearly does.
It goes on over there, right? And saying that they tried to do it to kind of, appeal to more people without it being a sex appeal or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And it works because obviously these people are popular. Neuro-Sama is popular. All of these other streamers are popular. So again, I think it is quite crazy that so many people are complaining about it. And I think that,
but this conversation will never go away.
Did switch up on Neuro and did switch up.
It's not even a lack of knowledge.
Shade.
It's a desire to not even
maybe it's due to the fact that they got to third place on the thing. I don't know. Or maybe it is due to, as I said, some past
I don't know if that is for
Doki Bird.
It is so weird. You can't definitively say if that's a main reason and people are just causing this mess. It's obviously some of it has to do with the extra attention Neuro-Sama and Vettel are getting. Obviously it has something to do with that. You can debate the percentage all you want to. I'm just talking about that as a fact. And to be honest with you, outside of that, I don't care to go any deeper.
In the Marvel Rivals tournament, I guess we'll never know, but again, it does seem like he is crushing out on VTubers quite often these days, and it is pretty hilarious.
I also
to
find it
see,
funny how
but
people call that
yeah,
crashing out.
That is
Is that really a crash out?
video. I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was pretty funny.
I just thought he was just wrong. I don't know about crash out.
This. He continues to make himself look even worse, and obviously it was Neuro-Sama this time. That obviously, yeah.
I'm sure it'll be someone else soon.
It's quite funny.
Some other day.
But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, good.
All right, that's from more Kazahana. That was not expecting to react to that video today. To be honest with you, that was a good video. All right, well, appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts about this whole kind of conversation. I do think it's a little bit quite disingenuous. Not even a little bit. I do believe it's quite disingenuous. Lack of understanding of culture, lack of desire to understand, right? There's definitely a disconnect between Western and Japanese culture, obviously, when it comes to stuff like this. But in my personal opinion, similarities do exist in the way we design characters and present them to audiences to gain their attention, for, mostly for commercial reasons, right? So, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Take care.